In this video we're going to make beautiful pierogies, but with a small touch to it. So let's start. So today we'll make something very unique. We're going to make pierogies from the Eastern European side of mine with shukut. We're going to make with sausage, sauerkraut and beer. Here we're going to make it a little bit more simple. We're going to use just very nice sausage, sauerkraut that I already made before. And if you want to learn the recipe of this sauerkraut, you can find it on the channel. And I'm going to leave you a link here with beer. And that's it. Not too much because again, it's going to be a filling of the pierogies. So let's start by prepping the dough. And after that, working on the filling. We're going to start with a big bowl that we're going to put all the ingredients for the dough. Flour, salt, mix with a fork and create a small hole in the middle. Now we're going to take the egg and the vegetable oil, mix them together with a fork and add them to the middle of the hole. Let's mix a little bit of the flour with the egg until everything is dry, and after that we're going to start adding the hot water and keep mixing it with a fork because the water is very hot, so don't try to mix the dough with your hand. Keep mixing it with a fork. In this moment when you have everything type of sandy and you can touch actually the dough, we're going to lose the fork and start mixing it with your hand. At the beginning you will think that you need to add a little bit more water or something, but don't worry, just keep kneading it. When you have a rough dough that comes together, scrap all the flour and everything that you have still in the bowl and let's start kneading it a little bit, like 2-3 minutes until everything is actually comes together. You should have a dough that it's not sticky at all. We just want to wrap it very well and put it back to the bowl that we used it. Let it rest for half an hour and meantime we can start working on the filling. I'm using usually a lager or a wheat beer because those the one that I like. And also I try with the pierogies here, but if you're going to use a dark beer, make sure to let me know in the comments below how it comes out because I never tried it before. So we're going to start with a regular, a little bit oil and roasting the onion. When the onion is already starting to get a little bit color, let's add all the sausage. And when you don't have any liquids inside the pan, just the fat and everything starts to come together, let's add the beer. Let all the beer and everything evaporate, very nice. And when it's ready, we're going to take it out. Put the pan with some of the fat that you still have in the pan and add the cabbage. With the cabbage, we're increasing the heat to the maximum because we have all the juices and everything inside the cabbage. Make sure when you're taking your sauerkraut, before putting it into the pan, you squeeze it very nice and you take all the excess juices from it. Otherwise, when you're going to put it into the pan, all those juices are going to go outside and it will take so much time to cook it. At this moment, when you see that the cabbage is starting to get nice color and you don't have any liquids in the pan, let's add a little bit more beer. When you don't have any liquids left in the pan, because again, everything is going to go into the filling, we don't want any liquids inside. We're going to take the cabbage out and we're going to let it chill completely. When the dough is already rested and the filling is already chilled, I mixed a little bit parsley, chopped parsley into the filling to give it a little bit freshness to it. And now we're going to start working on the pierogies themselves. So, take the dough out, we're going to cut the dough in half. The dough that we're not using, again, make sure you're going to cover it because this type of dough are dry really fast. Roll a type of a sausage from the dough and cut into even pieces. So, when you have your pieces, just take your dough and roll it 2 or 3 times. Stretch it a little bit more, type of on the whole hand. Now, put the filling inside and bring the edges on top together and start sealing. Make sure that all the filling is inside and you don't have any air pockets, and seal it. And you can create a nice shape by stretching the dough and bringing it back, stretching, bringing it back, stretch it, and bringing it back, creating a nice shape. So, we have the beautiful pierogies. We're going to cook them, waiting for the water to boil. So, for the water, we're going to add bay leaf and peppercorn just for the taste a little bit, and nice amount of salt. We're going to cut white onion a little bit and caramelize it with butter. When the water is boiling, pierogies, and let's start add them. Start working on the onion. For it, as usual, oil, and we're going to add small cube of butter. Beautiful. When the butter is already melted, we're going to add the onion. The combination of the oil and the butter together are not going to allow the butter to actually start burning before it's actually going to start caramelizing everything else. So we're going to let them cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until they're going to come out, and you will see they are puffing a little bit, and you can see how nice the pierogies are, already starting to puff. So just put the onion to the side a little bit, and let's start adding the pierogies that are already cooked inside the pan. Beautiful. Just shake it from time to time, moving it and caramelizing a little bit the dough. Beautiful. Now we're going to flip it to the other side and give it a little bit more. Bring the plate that you want to put it on. Some of the water to take all the starches from the pan and give a final caramelization to the onion, and pour it on top. Now time just to serve. Beautiful. And this is how you make beautiful pierogies yourself at home with something special inside, the shukrut. So I'm going to give you also a small hack touch that I'm usually doing with the sour cream that I'm serving the pierogies with. To the sour cream, when you make it in the canal, add a little bit pepper, a little bit gross salt, and non-refined sunflower seed oil. The oil has its flavor and it's very nice in the smell. So when people are actually going to eat it, it's going to give a small refreshness to the dish, because the pierogies themselves are a little bit heavy. You have the sausage inside, you have the beer, you have the cabbage and everything, and the non-refined oil going to give a little bit freshness of sunflower seeds. And I'm encouraging you to check the other videos on this channel, but before, make sure to subscribe, because more of these recipes are coming up every week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Andrei. This is Think of Food.